We're very excited to welcome Louis Rossmann to the show. He's a right to repair activist, host of a very popular YouTube channel, and he's at the forefront of a very big and interesting political discussion. Louis, thank you so much for joining the show. We really appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much for taking the time. I enjoy your show and humbled to be on.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Louis, tell us a little bit about right to repair. It's something that I think is a really interesting topic which concerns not only farmers, which is the context that I think many Americans might know it, but now in the realm of consumer electronics and more. You've been at the forefront of talking about it. Tell us a little bit, in the most basic level, what it is and how and why it affects Americans of all stripes.
Right to repair is the basic idea that you should be able to repair the devices you own. And I think it's really about personal property, because if you're not able to repair what you own, you don't really own it, since there are lots of different things out there that may stop working a month or two after the warranty's up, and most warranties are 1 year now. So lots of companies have gone out of their way to take devices that are used to be fixable and make them unfixable in fairly nefarious ways. And to be clear, when I talk about right to repair, I'm not saying that I want everything to look like it did in the 60s and the 80s. I don't want cell phones to be bricks again. What I'm saying is, if you have a device that costs $4,000 and there's a $5 chip that dies inside of it, what used to be a part of our culture in America is that we could just buy that part so that an independent service center or you could fix it in your garage or on your kitchen table. And now what companies do is they tell the company that makes that chip, don't sell it to anybody but us, so that we're the only one that can fix it. This is something that happens in farming and home appliances and consumer electronics. It even happens in medical. I was interviewing somebody a few weeks ago who said that when the motor dies in this operating table, it's the thing that allows you to adjust the patient, like, here or here. It's like a $38,000 table, and there's a $500 motor that dies. They use a proprietary motor. They'll change one small thing about the normal motor so that it's not compatible. And then they tell the company that makes the motor, don't sell the motor to the hospital if they want to, or the service center, if they want to be able to fix that table. So now the hospital's forced to spend $38K on a new one instead of, $1,000 to fix their existing one. So it's kind of something that's permeating every area of society over the last 30 years. And I think people are starting to notice it right after it's a little too late.
What do you mean by that, a little bit too late?
Every company does something like this now in just about every industry. And people typically don't notice this until it's a problem for them. So they don't notice it when they buy the product. They notice it when they go to fix the product. And it's boiled over and become this large issue now in 2021. But it's been over 30 years since devices that we buy came with schematics and manuals. It's been 20 or 30 years since you've been really able to universally buy repair parts and tools for all the different devices that you own. So we're at a point where almost every company takes part in this in some way, shape, or form.
Louis, as I understand it, the original kind of American manufacturing sector operated very much in this way, like GE, Thomas Edison patents and more, all the way back in the early 1900s. And this was a problem of monopolization that was keeping down competition. What do you think the greatest costs of the lack of right to repair is costing Americans right now?
The first largest thing I think it's costing is a general sense of the detective mindset that you have when you actually fix what you own, and a sense of ingenuity. Because there was a video that Steve Wozniak did a week and a half ago where he said that devices being open in the way that they were is how I was able to learn what I learned and start Apple, make the Apple II. That's the environment I grew up in. So if kids are growing up in an environment where their parents say you're going to replace your own brake pads in your car, you're going to fix your own computer, you learn as you're doing this. And when you grow up in a world where every time anything happens, you send it back to the manufacturer because you're not smart enough to fix it yourself. Or if you grow up in a world where you just don't open your own things because you're not authorized or not allowed to, I think that it takes a real toll on human ingenuity.
Yeah, I think that's right. It creates a sense of helplessness. I would say it also contributes to sort of mindset where everything's disposable, right? Because rather than send the thing in and get it fixed, which is going to be more costly than if you could fix it yourself, certainly, or even bring it to like local small business repairman to get it fixed, or a repairwoman to get it fixed. That cost may be too great. You just say, I'll just get a new one. What the heck? Which I think is actually part of what these companies intentionally want you to do here. President Biden obviously just announced a slew of antitrust executive orders and administration-wide efforts. He's directed, I think it's the FTC, to write a rule enshrining the right to repair. But as we all know, that rule can be written in a strong way, or it can be written in a way that basically allows business to continue as usual. What are some of the things that you'll be looking for in that regulation?
The primary things that I've been looking for in that regulation are, can I get access to schematics and diagrams? And can I buy chips? Whether these, again, I'm not asking the manufacturer to sell them to me. I'm simply asking them to stop telling the company that makes it for them to not sell it to us. So I'm not expecting people to stock every single little thing that they use in China to make their products. It's just when I knock on the door of Intersil or Texas Instruments, will you sell that chip to companies like Mouser or DigiKey or Newark, like you do with the rest of your other chips, so that I can then buy it from those vendors? So my litmus test for right to repair, at least for in my industry, is, can I get access to the schematics, diagrams, and chips necessary to do my job? Because Apple has released something called the Independent Repair Provider Program 2 years ago, but this program was clearly a PR stunt and a total joke. It doesn't address anything. You can't even buy a charging port from this program if your phone charging port dies. So I'm mainly looking for something that allows us to get access to schematics and diagrams. And I have a strong confidence that the FTC understands what we're looking for. Lena Khan seems to be very pro right to repair, and they released a 50-page report a few months ago, and that report really just sums out all of our problems. It sums up the manufacturer excuses and why they're not valid. So I have some level of confidence there.
Good. And Louis, I've noticed that you seem to be saying that right now is a very, very critical point. Like, why is it right now at this time that right to repair is at a real crucial turning point in American society?
Because the methods that I've been using to be able to get access to what I get access to so I could do my job are very quickly going away. And I think if it goes away completely right now and nobody does anything about it, it's not coming back. So it's kind of like manufacturing. You know, with manufacturing, if you close the factory, you just can't snap your fingers and open it again, because there's all that institutional knowledge that were in the heads of the people that were running the factory that was not on paper. So if you just want to start again, it's not like you just like when Trump is talking about, making Apple products in Wisconsin, it's not like you can snap your fingers and make that happen. And a lot of people saw it for a PR stunt, and the jobs numbers kind of show it as a PR stunt. But here, if all of these repair shops that do this type of work close because this takes hold, there's no control Zing and undoing this immediately once all of these people doing this work go on to other careers and are doing other things. Once this goes away, it's going to take you decades to get it back. And by then, it's going to be far too late.
So I just saw a Vice article about there's a question in Massachusetts right now about people being allowed to fix their own cars. And there's this very scaremongering ad that was released a while back that was saying, oh, if this goes forward, then predators are going to be able to get access to your private data that's stored in your car, and they have a woman who's fearful of a stalker, and the stalker is able to find her because of right to repair. What do you think are going to be some of the arguments? Because corporations are not just going to allow this to happen and not have anything to say about it. So what do you think are some of the disingenuous arguments that are going to be made against right to repair?
That was a good one, Krystal. So luckily, the voters didn't fall for it, because that initiative won 75-25, and they were pretty much saying that you will be sexually assaulted in a parking lot if this bill passes by mechanics that
literally, yes, that was the ad.
It was a good attempt, because I was speaking with someone who runs a focus group, and he said that many of the people running the Right to Repair campaign in Massachusetts were men. So let's come up with something that you will look bad at fighting back against if you're male. And it was an interesting way that they went about that campaign. It was very dirty, it was very disgusting and underhand, and luckily voters saw through it. With here, I think what they're going to do is they're going to say privacy and security are a concern, as in people are going to hack into your device and get your data if I'm able to replace a charge port. So if I can fix the charging circuit on your laptop so that when you plug your charger in it works, somehow that means that I'm going to be getting access to your data and stealing it, which is fundamentally just ridiculous. I mean, you've had people at the Genius Bar go through people's photos and upload and one of their third-party contractors uploaded sex tapes off a customer's phone to Facebook. So I mean,
oh my God.
Authorized repair in the past, but they're going to say that this is going to happen widespread. We're going to get access to your phone's data. We're going to hack you, and this is absolutely ridiculous. But that's the one line of fear-mongering that consistently works, because we've done focus groups on this.
Got it. Well, I'm glad that you could at least set the record straight here. Louis, where can people find out more about you, about the Right to Repair movement, and all the important developments?
People can go to websites like repair.org to figure out how to contact their local legislator. They're run by Gay Gordon Byrne, very good organization. For mine, you can just check out my YouTube channel. If you just type Louis Rossman, 2 S's and 2 N's into YouTube. I'm always talking about what's going on, and I will have a better website put together shortly. Right now, I have fighttorepair.org. It's a placeholder.
That's
Awesome. We'll have links down there.
Yeah,
in the description.
your explanation of GameStop and what was going on there was incredibly invaluable
Very helpful
to both
to
of us, also to our audience. You do a fantastic job just breaking things down in a way that's super understandable. So, Louis, super grateful for your time. Thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, man.
So much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
We'll
Our
see you later.
pleasure.
Thanks everybody for watching. We really appreciate it. Or listening. I can't forget all of those people. You can become a premium subscriber today at the link down there in the description notes. You know the deal. You get it, an hour early. You get to listen to it completely uncut. All of that. It's a great way to support our work over here so we can talk to interesting people like Louis and highlight topics that we think the mainstream media are not covering. We really appreciate it, and we will see you all tomorrow.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you tomorrow.